Are you one of the 75% of contractors whose financial statements are inaccurate? Find out. Click on the link in the show notes and you'll get a free P&L and balance sheet check.
This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Financially Fit Business. Get the business tool that helps you grow profitably, build wealth, and significantly impact your life and the lives of your employees. Go to www.financiallyfit.business and get started today. Thank you for joining us. Here is how we will help your business and you. Artificial intelligence, AI, is one of the latest buzzwords that has been thrown around for the past couple of years. ChatGPT and others use AI. And can it help us? Maybe. Well, how do we really use it in our industry? What are the pros and cons of AI for us? My guest today, Roland Ligtenberg, co-founder of House CallPro, believes that AI is the future of operations in home service businesses. Today, we'll talk about using AI in three areas: automated scheduling, inventory management, and enhanced data and insight. Roland, welcome to Contractor Sense.
This is nice to be here. Nice to meet you too, Ruth, and to your entire audience. I'm excited to talk about AI.
Yeah, you and me both. So anyway, for everybody in our audience who does not know House CallPro, why don't you give them the overview of what House CallPro does?
Sure, great. So House Call Pro at its most core is a field service management platform that helps you run your home service business. We do a lot more than that. We also do things like payroll. We do things like coaching. We do things like build your website for you. All kinds of different aspects to help you grow and run your business are things that we do. Our mission is to champion all of our pros to success. And we focus a lot on the core residential home services market. So not so much on the construction side, but think like HVAC, plumbing, electrical, handyman, garage door, cleaning, power washing, the list kind of goes on. But at the core of it, we make sure our pros look good in front of their customers and that they can get paid easily and then grow their business by getting reviews and having a great online presence.
Sounds great. Okay. So how long did you start using AI? How long ago? And when did it come into your radar?
Sure. So AI has just been a term that's been used for things also that isn't even really AI. And so I really think there's this turning point where I feel like it really OpenAI and ChatGPT opened it up for kind of the general public to really start using. And now there's a lot of great models out there and Claude and et cetera. But I'd say, when we took a look at House Call Pro, even earlier on, there's things in, machine learning models that we've used to help our pros run their business. But I'd say, just in this last year is when we launched our AI team members at House Call Pro, which are essentially members of your team that work in your business that have particular tasks and things that they do, like a traditional role, like a traditional person, but that are AI enabled and integrated into, the software, integrated directly into the data that your business is generating inside of House Call Pro.
Sounds good. I think you're right. I think ChatGPT basically opened up what AI can do. It's not always right, as we all know, but at least it gives people an idea of what AI is all about and large language models and things along those lines. So let's talk about automated scheduling. I mean, that's one of the areas that I think, and I think you think, that AI can be very helpful for pros, for House Call Pro and other home service businesses.
Yeah. So when it comes to automated scheduling, there's a lot of different components that come to it, but there's jobs that come in that need to be done right away, which you can think of as like emergency or like, direct response. Then you have other jobs that you can do at some point, sometime in the future. They don't have to be done on a particular day, but you can really make sure that those placement of those jobs are optimal. And so when it comes to the ability of AI to really do what, are things that a dispatcher would be thinking about, which is like real-time availability matching, dynamic scheduling adjustments, customer preferences and communication, and then like load balancing and resource optimization. There's a whole bunch of different things that kind of come into that, because you might not want to dispatch Joey to the job just because he's closest. He might not be the best kind of person to send out on, a water tank replacement opportunity. And maybe you want to send somebody else. And so, when people start talking about this, it's not just, oh, get the closest person to the closest job. There's a lot of other different elements to it. And these are things that AI is really great at because it's able to multi-thread and think about all these different types of things, including the location of the people, their skills, the type of customer. Is it a new customer, an existing customer, the types of things that are on the truck that are needed to do the job? There's just so many different components. But those are things that AI is uniquely good at. And I think, in the coming years here, it's going to continue to get optimized to the point where most of it can be completely automated and done at a high degree of accuracy. I think there will still always need to be humans in the loop to make sure things are going right and able to train it and tell it why a decision that it made might be wrong or right. But I think with that human in the loop, with the AI piece, you'll be able to do a lot more work with a lot less human resources. So you can focus on other parts of your business, like, the advertising side, business development, growing it, hiring and training technicians, like all the other things that are much harder for AI to actually do.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because we're using it more than we think we are, because where I take my car in for service, all the scheduling is done online and it's all AI driven. I know it is because it asks you questions about the severity of what the issue is. Is it like, is a car not running, and it goes through this whole laundry list. And I know it's all AI driven. So, number one, I really, really like it. So, everybody who's listening, whose customers hate calling you on the phone, which most customers do, use an AI driven, I guess, a decision tree. I don't know any other way to describe it. But I've never
Sure.
have a problem scheduling my car to go in for service, or if there's a problem or anything like that. It literally does decide the severity of it. And obviously I could make a phone call if I didn't like it, but I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that definitely House CallPro because we have an online booking feature, and just over the years since we launched it, I think in 2017, it's just been increasing in popularity. And I think it's a couple different factors. One is the different population set, the different generation that is now becoming homeowners, and like you said,
Yep.
not wanting to really call on the phone, get on the phone. Just if I can book a thing and click and be done with it, I'd rather do that and just talk to the technician when they come into the home. There's that kind of component to it, but then there's also just it's becoming much better and much smarter. Whereas before, there's too many things to take into consideration to actually get the right person at the right time, with the right availability, the right price. There's a bunch of things that kind of go into that. And so I think, with House Call Pro, that's definitely something that we're constantly thinking about and optimizing, is making it so that, the kind of tedium that comes with that. I know that there's a customer experience angle you might want to hang your hat up on and have, but then remembering how homeowners want to do business and allowing yourself to be booked online using a voice agent, using a chat bot. There's multiple different ways, texting and just instant messaging. So if you can open up those channels for your business, you'll be much more likely to not only just stay relevant with a different generation that's becoming really the homeowners now, but also just making it easy in a way that someone wants to communicate with you, rather than if you're like, I only like to answer phone calls and that's how I can qualify people, and that's the only way I'm going to do your business. You're just definitely like limiting your aperture to what's possible for your
Yeah.
business.
And not only that, in the next couple of years, it's going to be obsolete. I, I
That's
would
right.
I would almost bet in the next couple of years, because all the surveys we've done, nobody wants to call on the phone and schedule anything anymore. There's been too much that's been online, the stuff that you're doing, stuff that a lot of people are doing, and I can schedule stuff online. Why would I pick up a phone and call? I mean, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
and I think Yeah, and I think what's interesting too is like for the people that still will want to call, I think that's where, at House Call Pro, we have a CSR AI that's able to take the call in the voice and tone of the company with whatever their intake logic is, the types of questions they like to ask, so that you can get a lot further down the funnel without having to involve a human.
Yeah.
So, that's where it's just doing what it was doing via text on online booking, but it's just, a voiced version of it. And so it may still exist, but it's going to be way different than like what you said, what we're experiencing today still.
Right. So before we take a break, if somebody wants to find out more about House Call Pro, where do they go?
Sure. I mean, our website is definitely the best place to go, housecallpro.com. If you want to look for our AI team members, it's there on our site as well. If you're curious about what we're doing there, what kind of team members that we have available for our pros currently. But visiting our website is the easiest place to go. You can always call us, but you may or may not be talking to me.
You visit their website. It's housecallpro.com. We'll be right
Okay.
back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. Imagine you had total freedom. You didn't have to worry about money. You didn't have to be a slave to your business. The words, "I can't," are eliminated from your vocabulary. What if you could do what you want to do, whenever you want to do it? A financially fit business could give you that freedom. How? By knowing what your financial statements are telling you and taking action based on what they say. You can do this in less than 10 minutes a month, at an investment of less than taking your family out to dinner once a month. And if your financial statements are a mess, you can get help. Go to www.financiallyfit.business or click on the QR code below to get started today. We're back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I'm talking with Roland Ligtenberg, who is a co-founder of House CallPro. And before the break, we started our conversation about automated scheduling being one of the really important things that AI can do for our businesses. The next thing you talk about is inventory management. How many contractors who are users of House CallPro hate inventory? My guess is 100% or pretty close.
Yeah, I think there's so many components that come into home services, when you're dealing with things, and it's not just, what you're installing in the customer's home, but like the future customers that you're going to go on a route. And so you really have to think closely about what's in your truck and what's in your warehouse. And if you're not thinking about those jobs coming up in any given day, it's going to be very hard to stock the truck correctly in the morning before you do your morning rollouts. And so making sure that you've got the right material list, it's really important. I feel like when it comes to just inventory management in general, just the ability to do demand forecasting and knowing what types of things, based upon either the weather trends, if you can imagine like an HVAC company, or a plumbing company, the Brown Thursday or whatever it is after Thanksgiving, but also, the automated reordering, like optimized stock levels, just making sure that you've got the right amount of inventory across multiple locations. I think not enough people talk about like waste that's created, which is essentially you've ordered too much of it and now you shouldn't have ordered this much, and your material costs are a much higher percentage than you'd like to of a given job. But there's a lot of different components and things that come into making sure that works really well. And the last piece, which is the supplier cost optimization. There may be multiple suppliers that offer the same thing. And, it's important to realize if you're buying a lot of a thing and you're forecasting a lot of it in the next year, are you getting the best price that you possibly can? And you might be wanting to source from multiple different vendors rather than only going to one vendor or one supplier. So there's just a lot that goes into it, and it's just ripe for AI. I think AI is still really young in this space. But as you can kind of start to tell, anything that's fairly complicated with a lot of running threads and optimization problems, it'll start to do really, really well in, especially given the amounts of data that House CallPro has for your business to be able to feed it. Because without data, AI is fairly useless. Yeah. And even if you have like LLMs that are trained on bigger sets of data, you still need it to be tuned to your data, and that's really what makes it unique and the things that we help our pros do. It'd be really cool that we automate the schedule, then the AI reads the schedule and figures out what parts we need. That would be cool. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I believe home services is very well protected against AI taking over completely, because no matter what, there's always going to be that face-to-face customer interaction, and there's always going to be that person, at the home doing the tricky stuff, the hard things, and all the things that are more logistical or complicated or numbers and calculation or those pieces. Those things will fall into AI's hands to be able to go do, so that our pros that use House CallPro just focus on what they do really well, which is delivering that 5-star customer experience and turning the wrench. Absolutely. So what about data? What other, final insights do you have about the AI, coming into our industry? Sure. So, for a lot of pros, they're like, well, Roland, what can I do to be prepared? Or how can I take most advantage of it? And the underlying way that any AI really works is based upon the data that you feed it. And so if you feed it bad data, well, probably not going to end up with really smart AI, or it's going to be confused. And so I tell all of our pros, that are using House CallPro, when you're in there, make sure, you're tagging things correctly. Make sure you're using the job tags, the job types, the business unit tags, as much data as you can put into it. Make sure you're using our customer intake tool so that your CSRs, if you don't have our voice agent yet, are answering the call in a very structured and systematic way. So you're capturing all those data points. The more data points that you can have, you're going to start future proofing your business. The second thing I tell all of our pros to do is all of these processes that you're doing, if your technicians are asking you questions, if they ask you a question, take the time to not only answer them, but document it at the same time. There's an easy way to do it. You can just record all your conversations and just have that transcribed and turn that into documentation. But all of that written documentation is stuff that gets fed into an underlying, AI agent, into an LLM. And so start working on documenting all of your things, because those are the ways that you're going to train the AI to behave and act like you, like your business, with your core values, with your business systems, processes, all those kind of components. So the summary is bad data in, bad data out, or bad AI out, and document earlier than you think is possible. Even on things that you feel are mundane, the more you can document, the more easily you can be ready for when it comes time to build that knowledge base for that AI. So do those two things, and I think you'll be well prepared for what's coming here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I would have I agree with you there. So give everybody the website again one more time, please.
It's housecallpro.com.
Very good. Roland, thanks so much for being with us.
Pleasure speaking to you, Ruth, and I really hope people are not afraid. There are no AI overlords coming for you. Learn how to leverage it for your business. And if you're not sure what to do, give us a call at House CallPro. If you're home service businesses, we can help build a strategy for you and also show you our strategy on how AI is going to help revolutionize your business.
Well, remember that AI is a tool, and House CallPro is using AI as a tool to help them, right?
That's a great way to explain it. Yeah, it's just another tool in your tool belt. So you learn how to use it just like any other new tool, and it's going to do wonders for your business.
Very good. Roland, thanks so much.
Take care, Ruth.
All right. And thanks to all of you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money, too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email Ruth King at hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.
Cool.